So who are you?
Hi. I'm Nigel Todd. I'm the MD for Trucklink EU. We're based in Leicester. What about you?
My name's Rachel Williamson. I'm the Ops Director at Welcomm Communications, and we're a Leicestershire-based business, actually based in Market Harborough.
So a bit of history, I guess, really. Our businesses are quite, we have been associated with our businesses for quite some years. So my history goes back to when we first got involved with communications and got all our mobile phones and everything like that, probably back in 2000, early 2000. What about you?
Yeah, so our paths crossed when we had an event, if you remember. We were at Leicester Tigers, I believe, and you guys came along because you were already a long-standing customer of Welcomm, and we were presenting all the new unified hosted telephony products and services at the time, which you've actually now taken from us, and we provide you with that part of your business communications, not only mobiles, we look after your phones as well.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah,
well,
so I guess really our business has sort of grown over the years and it is heavily based on technology. So it started with mobile phones, and I think actually the HAE group have got all of their communications with yourselves as well. So it's kind of gone global, really. So it's been an exciting journey.
That was actually an interesting meeting that I think Luke Stanton, one of our UC specialists, attended, where HAE had actually bought out the Trucklink business to bring into their fold, and we thought we might not be able to look after your telecoms anymore, but it actually turns out ours was better than what those guys were using, and they wanted to put it across their whole estate, which was amazing. So if we hadn't had that good relationship with you, we might not have had that opportunity. So it's really good. Yeah, and we've got a really good relationship with HAE now as well. They're lovely people to work with.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. So I obviously did you proud. So no, I guess really it's nice to be able to sort of do business with associated companies in the area, because we all sort of support one another in different lines of our business, and I guess this is a proven track record, isn't it? So
yeah.
And it makes it easy to do business as well.
Definitely. Chris Anthony started Welcomm Communications. He's a big believer in working with local companies as well and supporting our suppliers and customers too. And Aidan, our MD, you probably know as well, he's a big advocate for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I always preach to my staff that our suppliers are as important as our customers. The little bit that we do in between wouldn't happen without the client, and also the suppliers that support us in various different areas, sort of thing. So it's nice.
Well, if we didn't have good supplier relationships, we wouldn't be able to give the level of service that we give you. So yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Really important. Brilliant. So what's your connection with LOROS then, Nigel? What initially brought you to work with the people?
It goes back quite a few years actually. I remember when the HAE group founder at the time had a wedding in Kegworth, and we stopped there. And on the way back, we called into LOROS for the very first time, where we had a dear friend of ours that was suffering from cancer, and we went in to see Steve. I'm trying to think when it was now, about 15 years ago. And I don't particularly like going in hospitals, because it's always like a scary feeling. There's a certain smell and all that kind of stuff. And we went in there, and it was just like a hotel, and they made us so welcome. And I remember seeing Steve, and Steve was in really high spirits. He was talking about having a reunion. He was in the construction industry. He was only in his sort of 60s. I think he was due for retirement, mid-60s. And he was talking about the reunion that was going to happen in a couple of weeks' time. Within 7 days, he passed, unfortunately. So that was my first interaction with LOROS. And then my mother passed in March 19, but she suffered from a lung disease and bones, and she sort of had this illness for about 7 years. And I remember, in the early days, I used to meet my mum in the local gym, and she used to go on the treadmill and stuff. And then slightly worse, ended up in a wheelchair. And then she got involved with LOROS, so it was like a bit of respite for my mum, where she used to go and she'd enjoy kind of entertainment. They used to sing songs. They used to sort of interact with one another and this kind of thing. And then she got more associated with them, and then ended up probably 3 or 4 months before she passed, going into hospital. It was on the 9th of December, actually, 2018. And we had Christmas. We had a Christmas party in an area where they made it really nice for us. So we had a buffet, and we got photos, my family, my kids. So Mum had a fantastic time. And to be quite honest, it was there was no fear when I went there. You know, you could go there, they'd make cups of tea, you could have a sandwich. It was any time of the day, and my mum had such an association with the nurses. It was almost like she'd prefer to be there than being at home. It's really weird. So that was really good.
That's lovely.
That's where I first kind of well, not first, but that's
I think everybody that's had an interaction with them, LOROS, in those circumstances, they all, you know, everybody says the same message. You can't quantify what they do. You can't put your finger on what it is that they do, other than the feeling it gives you. And that, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. So how did you first share with them?
I'm just going to have to wipe my eye a little bit, because that was an amazing. I'm sorry to hear about you, two close people. I grew up with a lady called Sarah. She was only in her early 50s when she passed away 2 years ago. And she had quite a big impact on my life, really good friend. And unfortunately, she got cancer. And, you know, the horrible disease, you know, isn't very discriminate about who it picks and chooses to you know, inflict upon. But she ended up in LOROS because she needed some really quick respite care, because she was very poorly. And what they did is they got her back on her feet, so to speak, able to come home. And she was able to plan her own funeral, which for me is such an important thing for somebody in that situation. And it was the most beautiful funeral I've ever been to, if that makes any sense. But they gave her that time. They gave her that ability to be at home, prepare for everything, and know that she was leaving everybody in a nice place. So what they did for her was just absolutely outstanding, absolutely brilliant. So as a result of it, me and her cousin, who I also grew up with, got on our bikes and raised about 5,000 and something by cycling from London to Paris, which was an awesome experience, which I would never have done either. So, you know, her sort of legacy lives on by some of the things that you're now doing. Hence, you know, your mum, your friend, my friend. That's why we're talking today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things that when you're sort of, you know, in your younger years and you're raising a family and your career path, you're so focused on yourself and your sort of things going on around you. You think, oh, you know, people get old. You know, it only happens to old people. And then when it suddenly, you know, it sort of arrives on your doorstep or somebody close to you, then it's nice to know there's that kind of support out there, because they're kind of a bit of a hidden gem, to be quite honest, aren't they? They're not out there, and you don't know too much about it. It's usually in an unfortunate event, which generally people don't like to talk about.
Do you know what? It's changed. Yeah, that's changed my outlook on talking about stuff like that as well, because I used to be scared to death, literally, of talking about it, because you just think, well, if you talk about it, it's going to happen. Stop it. But actually, they make it easier to talk about those things, and for the people going through it, that's the key thing, and the families around them as well. So phenomenal place, really, really lovely people.
Yeah, and I think like what you said about Sarah as well, when she came out and was able to arrange her own funeral and stuff like that, it was really bizarre actually, because I remember my mum in the last few months, she wasn't particularly scared. She was ready. If it makes sense. And so I think the sort of remaining few weeks that we spent with her, I think we all managed to probably get closer to her. And discuss certain things. And for me, it was like, I don't know, there's more fond memories of that final time, and it helps you kind of, I don't know, it kind of helps you cope with it, I guess, really.
Absolutely. And I know my friend's husband, you know, he said that he was in a very dark place and he couldn't have got through it without them. Absolutely couldn't have got through it. So yeah, really, really good buzz. And that's one of the sole reasons why I've got behind it. But because they're so lovely and because they do such good work, you can't help but want to help them. It's quite addictive, if I'm honest. We've done so many things just to do a bit of fun and inject, you know, whatever we can into their business. And obviously something that we're both doing together is the Rocket Round Leicester, which is where I saw you on a Zoom call. And I thought, I know you. You're one of our customers.
Absolutely. Okay, so is it you that sort of drove Welcomm towards LOROS then, or is there any other sort of history with the company?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we do have other people in the business that LOROS, it has touched their life, but that's come about as of the result of the fundraising we did for Sarah. So we've
Right.
got 2 or 3 members whose, family members have been there and obviously passed away there as well. So they were with us at the filming for the Rocket Round Leicester. So Kate, our
Okay.
HR manager, her friend had literally passed away the week before. Now that's strength, that is, isn't it? Coming and doing a video. So, but she
Yeah.
was at peace because of what we've just talked about.
Yeah.
She felt happy, and it was the right thing for her to do to
Yeah.
honour her friend Sue's memory.
Yeah.
And another chap, his father, spent some time in there as well. But to be
Yeah.
honest with you, Nigel, I don't know about you, but if I mention to our teams at Welcomm, right, we're doing this, they follow. They're an amazing bunch back at Welcomm, and you'll probably, say the same about your team at Trucklink. But whatever I force on them, they tend to follow.
Yeah, no. So, well, I think everybody's got a bit of a sad story, which perhaps they don't like to talk about. But
Yeah,
it's really strange because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I don't know if you feel like this at all, but I sometimes feel like somebody's watching down, and they're probably going to be
yeah,
really proud of what we're trying to do. So
yeah,
hopefully, I'm kind of like I look up sometimes and think,
yeah.
I'm proud of you, Mum.
You've just
Um,
given me goosebumps because I'll tell you something. This is really bizarre, but I had a dream that my friend Sarah told me, look at the photos because all the eyes are looking at you. And that's the feeling I got.
yeah, yeah.
It
Wow.
made me feel funny, that did.
Yeah, well, it was. I guess it's probably a couple of years ago. We deal with a company in Leicester. Well, obviously, lots of companies in Leicester, and the MD of this particular company says, "Oh, I don't know if you could help us, but my son is looking to move some stuff around the country. I just wondered if you would mind me putting your name forward." And I said, "Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll get him to give me a call. It's fine." So anyway, Tom phoned me from
Yeah,
LOROS, and he introduced himself from LOROS. And I said, "Oh, right, okay." I said, "Good to hear from you, Tom." And it was about moving some. There was moving some freight from one place to promotional items. I think it was into Birmingham, and there was a couple of jobs came up. And when he basically said, would you be able to do it for us, and how much will it cost? I said, "I'll do it for you. I ain't charging.
yeah,
I do not want to charge you." And it was almost like, if you've got any other jobs, always ask me. I'll always be able to move something
yeah.
within our
Lovely.
network or whatever. And I said, it's my payback because
Yeah,
the value I put on how they helped my family and my mum is like I'll never be able to repay them, to be honest. So,
no.
if I can help somebody return the favour, and it sort of grew from there.
Yeah,
Even before the idea of the Rockets Round Leicester, I had no idea that they were sort of applying for the Wild in Art. So of course, as that came on, he says, "Oh, you've done a couple of jobs for us. Well, slightly bigger project." And I said, "Oh God, bring it on. Nothing's too big for us to do with LOROS. So
yeah.
hopefully it's going to be a great success."
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, obviously, with the both of us behind that project, and there's up to 40 businesses that are going to be involved in it, it really will help the local Leicester. People coming back out of what's been a horrid year this year.
Yeah.
Getting people back out into the community, getting children involved. I think it's a massive thing that they're doing, and we're proud as punch to be part of it, like you've just said. And it's just natural to want to help. And obviously, with you moving all the rockets around as well. No pressure there, Nigel.
No, it's fine. We've done much more difficult things than that, so I'm sure it'll be a piece of cake. So, yeah.
Brilliant.
I think it'd be great for the whole community to get involved and
Mm,
give a little bit of awareness and stuff like that. And to be quite honest, it can just be if everybody was to give £1, for instance, and then just somebody else
oh,
recommend it, somebody
yeah,
else recommend it. Before you know it, it can just hopefully spiral into something really, really big that somebody will sort of enjoy being involved in. And like I said, when you first mentioned that when you just had to ride that bike from
yeah,
Paris to
yeah.
is it London
London to
to
Paris.
Paris.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it doesn't take any energy, does it? When you feel you're doing it for a good cause, it
yeah,
almost like gives you motivation and adrenaline just to kind of like I want to make a difference. Like
yeah.
there's no price to put on it. It's just
No,
sheer
absolutely agree.
enjoyment. Yeah,
If
so
I if I
hopefully it's an
if I
opportunity
told
for
you that,
everybody to feel like
sorry, if I told you that I'd broke my ankle and I was out of a cast in the March and I was on my bike within, I think it was about 8 weeks.
Really?
training, because there was only a 3-4 month gap for me going on that bike ride to Paris. So yeah, I broke my ankle in the process skiing last year.
Superwoman.
I know.
Was it one of those electric powered bikes?
No, it was not. No. It was all by me.
London to Paris is all downhill though, isn't it?
No, it's not. And next time I do it, you can join so you can see.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe I'll have to take it after. So I guess really, so we're here to sort of obviously try and promote the whole cause, aren't we? And I guess we want other people to get on, get involved. So if anybody's got any stories or any connection whatsoever, then more the merrier, I'd say. Get involved with businesses or people in general. Come and support the cause, and hopefully we'll be able to get more and more information out there to promote and also help businesses as well. At the end of the day, there's a lot of business out there that, and particularly with what we're trying to do in summer, if all the sort of restaurants and cafes and leisure places are going to be sort of disappearing, then it's not going to be such a great event, to be honest. So let's hope we can get them back on track and put some revenue through those businesses, and hopefully raise a few pounds at the same time. And then it's kind of like good for everybody then, not just like us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I guess as well, because we've started talking about the Rocket Man Leicester project, me and you have sort of bounced some crazy ideas off each other about what else we can do. And we've gone a bit mental with it. Let's be honest, it's got a bit crazy, hasn't it? So we're booking calls with the team at LOROS to help them even further, because we can and we love doing it. We've got the technology, as in Welcomm. You've got the transport infrastructure to help, with lots of other things for them as well. But it's about the wider community. It's about the wider businesses, and it's about what can we draw together collectively to actually drive something even bigger and better for the guys at LOROS. So we had a call with Magda, not last week, the week before, and we've laid it all out, all your ideas, all ours, Emma's, Jake's as well. And we've got a call booked in the next couple of weeks. So I'm really excited to see what this is going to deliver. And especially in these unprecedented times where, people will probably want to help that a little bit more, because you don't have to go out to do it. We can do it like we're doing over this call right now. You can give, 5-10 minutes of your time, if you're a superstar or a TV star or whatever it may be, to help LOROS make some money, because the effort's minimal now, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're open to loads of ideas, I guess, really.
Yeah.
So fundraising ideas, anything that we should let people know about?
So I guess what we want to say to people is watch your space. We'll be back out with another promotional video, I guess, releasing what we're doing.
The message will be get involved.
Yeah, come with us. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. Really look forward to what we can try and do for them in 2021. It's going to be a busy year, but hopefully a lot of fun as well. And
what we both really agree on is it's going to involve lots of boozing and drinking and having fun, isn't it?
Oh, yes. It's got to be fun, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. Okay, I really appreciate your help with this. Thank you.
That's been brilliant. No, listen, anytime, it's great.
Yeah, and lovely to hear your story as well. Really nice.
And you as well. Yeah, I've got a connection.
Yeah. Lovely. All right, then we'll take care, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks, Rachel.
Right. See you later. Bye.